Do you think by design this Dazzle fits that playstyle really well?
For sure, and I would add up here that both previous game and this game so far, what bothers me in Gaming Gladiators Draft is they don't really have saves in their lineup. If you look at Team Spirit lineup, they already have 2, and usually on like middle game, late game, this is one of the most important things that you have in your lineups. So not only like big cooldowns like on Brew or something like this, but also like saves. I think it's often can be like game changer.
Speaking of saves, I think Gaimin probably needs to ban Centaur in this game. This could be a really good hero. Like, you see the roll come out, you see the split come out. Some Centaur Stampede could disengage that really well. I think they need another hero that... I'm just kind of looking at Yatoro's hero pool. I'm not seeing anything much better versus the Brewmaster than the CK right now. Potentially, it was like a Morphling, but then you're playing versus AA, Weaver's Band.
It's like a Night Stalker.
Carry?
Yeah, I think Nightfall pulled that out a couple pits. I could actually see Yatoro playing in a game like this. It's actually a really good Night Stalker carry game.
Agree on that. That looks amazing if we go for it. It's very hard to play with this lineup so far against Night Stalker carry. You don't have so many reliable stuns, I would say, on Gladiators yet. Like, you have a lot of some skill shots that you need to aim, so it can create a problem. Yeah, also, by the way, Grim is also safe if you think about it, right? His shard is used so efficiently at TI so far.
Yeah, we saw it in the last game as well. Like, I guess the only question is, like, they probably are wanting a ranged hero because you have Tusk potentially 5, and I don't know if CK Tusk lane is gonna cut it. I guess they could do it.
I think just because they see the AA, they might feel like they can greed it out. Like, they have a 5 that doesn't really prevent the carry from getting all in, and that can't protect themselves. So you can like play for the kills in lane with something like a CK Tusk. I could see them just go for the range route with the Tusker 5 though. I think they'd have really strong lanes that way as well.
It seems like Gaming Gladiators have the same mindset with this Dawnbreaker ban, right? This is a hero combination that we saw other teams run earlier in the tournament. The Tusk Dawn as a dual lane just absolutely obliterating weak 5s. So it does seem like Gaimin are still in that mindset of this CK is going to be the carry. But as you guys pointed out, I don't even think CK Tusk is going to struggle here unless that carry last pick from Gaimin really solves that lane. AA does not like this matchup.
Honestly, I just like this last hero from Team Spirit to sort of solidify their team fights. I feel like right now they actually have a chance that they'll get run over in team fights. I think Pango, Brewmaster, and Mortar are all really strong versus heroes.
Oh,
okay.
Space call. Well, it was time. Bendy wanted it. He got it.
Oh, it's a beautiful lineup here. Spirit Breaker Grim looks very scary, very scary. Also, it's BKB Pierce once again, which is very strong in a lot of situations.
Yeah, I think the carry pool, I think the Troll being banned and the Void kind of signified that you want this CK to be your carry. So they're going for that offline route, not going for the Centaur, going for the Spirit Breaker, which Brewmaster, I guess you have a Dispel, which helps a little bit against that if you can get it off on time, but we've seen time and time again in the late game, it doesn't really matter. You have like a BKB, Octarine Core, and like a Refresher Orb, so you can't really deal with that. So this has been a Collapse special throughout like the entirety of this TI, and he's really good at it, and it looks pretty scary here. I will say the Gaimin's lineup, it looks pretty good though so far. I think whenever you play against Dazzle, having that AA is really good if you can ever commit on him. Then we have a Spectre.
Gonna round it out with a Spectre, so giving maybe some skirmishing potential to Gaming Gladiators. You have a carry that can join globally. Was this just a matter of, okay, there's nothing left?
Is the lane going to be okay?
Yeah, honestly, I'm really worried for Gladiators. I feel like every time I've seen Spirit Breaker have a good lane, this hero's like the most unreal imbo of the patch.
Yeah, Spectre A is one of the best combinations in the game for ages, and I don't think anything changing in that, because both heroes complement each other very well. But at the same time, the lineup on Team Spirit looks crazy in late game if it's the game D-Ways.
All right, seems like we're grasping. Are we grasping at straws for Gaming Gladiators? Is this actually going to be that difficult of a safe lane? Or is maybe some sort of hope with rotation from maybe a gating where it could offset this balance in the top lane? Can you leave Brewmaster alone for a minute to try to help? Or do you need to get really creative?
I think a lot can happen in this game, and I think a lot's going to come from the mid lane. And can Quinn get rotations? And can they abuse Laurel this game? Because I think Laurel is very exploitable in this game with AA ult, Spectre ult, and if he feeds a lot of net worth back, that could be a way back into the game.
Yeah, I can completely see that. If one lane starts getting pressured, like you have the Spectre to add on, the Pangolier probably is going to be the strongest hero in the game when he gets his role. So they do have a lot of angles on Gladiators to snowball off that.
So I guess, I mean, not to sound like a broken record, but we're very focused on the laning stage, as per usual in this series. if you're in Quinn's shoes in this game, obviously you've had a couple of games that did not go according to plan, right? Let's talk a little bit about the mentality of him going up against what we assume will be a very unfavorable matchup against Larl and the Dazzle. What do you think Quinn is telling his team right now? Is it, all right, I'm going to be struggling, but I'll come back, or I need help for sure in this game?
It's actually not that bad for Pango. It's one of the better heroes to sustain against Dazzle, because you have 2 jumps to jump away from its poison attacks. So I think Quinn is extremely experienced and he will be fine.
All right, guys, Gaming Gladiators, they are on the ropes. I'm sure Team Spirit are feeling themselves right now, and let's see if it is the same for their coach, Silent.
Thank you very much. I am joined by Silent of Team Spirit, where around 2 years ago, you were in a very similar spot. It was Grand Finals, TI-10 in Bucharest. You were up 2 games. Now, a lot has changed since then, but it hasn't changed for your team. The energy from 2 years ago to now, does anything feel different?
No, I think we feel the same. You need to be focused and play till the end. It doesn't matter lead you or losing. Same. You don't like to, okay, we're leading it to Aero, we can make some YOLO plays.
A championship mentality through and through, but I know one thing that's different. 2 years ago, you didn't have a crowd. But this time, I think they're ready for a game number 3.
And we are certainly ready for a game number 3. Though we certainly don't want to end it here. Seattle, do we want to see some more Dota? Here in the Cathedral in Seattle, we may just be witnessing the final game of the Grand Finals, but I'm sure a lot of us hope for so much more. And that all depends on Gaming Gladiators. I mean, they have been the ones to run the gauntlet through all of these majors. They were looking like the best team of the year until they ran into Team Spirit. Until Team Spirit ramped up in just the right time, shown up for championships, and they have only lost 2 games in this entire tournament, Avery. They're 43-7 in their last 50. This team is looking unstoppable. Is there anything Gaming Gladiators can do to halt this momentum, even just a little bit?
You have to play Dota. There's no way around it. You have to meet this team on their plane and give them a taste of their own medicine, because you came in with a plan, but everybody has a plan until Team Spirit punches you in the face. And right now you're laying on the ground trying to figure out what the hell just happened in the first 2 games. Your plan did not work. Whatever you thought it was going to happen in the games 1 and 2, it fell flat. So right now, Team Spirit are in control of this draft meta. They're in control of the series, and they're dictating the pace in these games. They're dictating the team fight. So you have to meet them there and beat them. You have to outplay them. You have to start winning these team fights, scaling into the late game. You are not going to run this team over, which means you got to find some more momentum going past that 30 or 40 minute mark. It's not been Gaiman's MO this entire lower bracket run, but hey, you're in a dire situation at Grand Final. You don't have another chance here. You are at the total limit. So figure it out fast, make the adjustments, and get cranking. This is a draft that is heading in that direction, right? A lot more team fight, a lot more scaling presence. Yep. Spectre AA here designed to put Yatoro in a tough position. We've seen the AA be a counter to CK for a lot of this tournament in terms of limiting the lifesteal interactions. Of course, it can also have a huge impact versus the Dazzle as this game progresses into the late game. So I think these are much more even lineups in terms of what happens past the 40 or 50 minute mark. There's not some crazy inevitable scale outside of maybe Dazzle Spirit Breaker doing crazy Dazzle Spirit Breaker things, and Celery in trouble
in the bottom lane, and that is going to be your first blood. Collapse will claim it with a bash.
Of course, a little luck goes a long way. A classic Team Spirit strategy going back to their first TI victory in a career boot.
Courier pickoff as well. Look at that, Duraggio even like taking himself outside the lane to block the hard camp, because this lane is already going a little bit awkward for them. The mid lane's not looking much better. We're 12-4 on Larl over this melee. Range versus melee matchup, it's not a fun one. You should expect the Dazzle to win, but Larl is already taking commanding lead. And then we've got your Toro, 11-2. Now the Brewmaster is keeping pace, but he's certainly not slowing down the carry of Team Spirit. So Gaming Gladiators got to be able to hold this momentum a little bit further here. Bit of damage onto Ace. They're turning it back around, but Tofu's here to be able to help him out. Nice shot to get the extra bit of damage on 2 heroes.
Yeah, double proc, win the war of attrition. I think these sidelines can go fine for gaming over the course of the lanes. They don't look too terrifying to me. I think the Brew can fight back with the help of Morta. Just a very tough hero to trade into. That mid lane is what I'm worried about, though, right? It's Dazzle versus Melee. I mean, Pango has some escape mechanisms, but if you get some roam going through with the poison adding up, it can be deadly.
Every single time Celery wants to be able to stop that hard camp opportunity, he does risk getting gone on by Mira and Collapse. This time around, he's fine. The Shard inadvertently kind of helps him out as he's pushed underneath his tower.
Just try and get as many pulls off as you can in this lane. Boost the XP up for both heroes as they both really want and need it here. You're not going to be able to shut Collapse down, which, I mean, that's a worrying factor, right? A Spirit Breaker with absolute free farm, it's going to have a fast Midas, is what Collapse is going to have here. He's going to have his choice. And he'll be quite powerful going into that mid game. So you got to be able to strike back in these small skirmishes, get the ults up, particularly the Brewmaster Primal Split, the Rolling Thunder here, very powerful spells if you can get them fast. And of course, A Blast coming in on top of it with Vortex amping up all this magic damage and put that mini haunt to use on the step.
Real quickly, want to give a shout out to our observers, our hardworking observers who have been keeping us through this entire tournament. Ace, maybe in some trouble here. Miposhka, he's trying to dodge all of these ghosts. He doesn't want to lead the calling. He'll take that extra bit of damage to try and risk it, but he does end up falling as a result. And now Ace, he'll have some helping in from Tofu. Beautiful dead shot to push him back in and gaining Gladiators. A very clutch fight there for them. Tofu and Ace get a big win in their off lane.
That's the strength of the Morta dual lane that they're looking for. This is why this hero's been a first pick for them for a lot of these series. They're very confident in what Tofu can do on it in the early game. And now he has some roam options. I don't think you can leave Ace in the 1-on-2, but if you can get some breathing room like this and look towards mid, maybe you can get some damage poke, help skew this lane back in Quinn's favor. Because he is still getting known. 31 and 10 on Laurel, almost doubling Quinn up here. He got the Courier as well. Quinn with a slight misstep will hurt his regen fairing. That just means more pressure going to build up between Laurel and his melee foe. Just not much you can do against the poison touch here.
Yeah, this is looking like Quinn kind of needs one of his supports to die just to refill that bottle, and Celery may grant him that wish. He's going to get a double blood grenade before he goes, so this may be a fair trade-off if Darachu can claim his life, and he does manage to get it. It puts an early level into that Desolate, and it's just the added damage they need.
Honestly, I think Celery's okay with that. Solo XP for Darachu on a Spectre. He gets to collect all these creeps under the tower without any pressure. Pretty happy about that exchange with a very defensive-oriented lane where, what are you doing aggressively with AA Spectre? It's all about getting farm and XP down here.
And there's that TP rotation to fill out Quinn's bottle. And try and help with the 6-minute rune. Let's see if he's able to do so, but Team Spirit not going to worry about the runes here. Instead, they try and win this offlane situation where Ace and Tofu were doing pretty well for themselves. They bring 3 heroes to the matter to bring down Ace if they can get him. Slowed down by the blood grenade. They only need a couple more hits. They've got more blood. Where that came from, apparently, gives them over that Lotus, and that's enough.
Evasion with the haze, enough for Ace to just walk off here.
I lied. They do care about that the power rune because they brought Collapse to secure it. Not just that, but also the kill on Quinn.
That's just going to secure the double check for Laurel. He's going to walk all the way top and get himself a shield rune. Putting this matchup to good use, giving Quinn a taste of his own medicine here with the roam. Maybe not expected out of the offlaner, but that is a hell of a rotation from Collapse and gets a lot of momentum going into this Dazzle right now. And this is a pressure point you're going to have to respond to. And this is a hero that scales very hard in Dota right now. Pretty strong early game for Team Spirit. They're going to look to try and fight back, but Quinn with a nice rotation, just eyeing Yatoro up here all alone. Will get the hit back.
If you're just going to keep dying in your lane, you might as well rotate out of it, even if it means you're doing it pre-level 6. So, as you can see, anybody who shows up in the mid lane is going to be run over by the Dazzle, especially if you get the extra vision of like a Tusk Snowball or the Spirit Breaker charge. You just can't get away from this Poison Touch hit. So,
no, especially with these wards behind the tower already. Deep observer for Team Spirit behind Game in Tier 1. Collapse having a chuckle about that.
Yeah, that was all because Quinn tipped him before the charge even completed. Quinn knew what was coming. He could do nothing to stop it.
Well, could have picked the real hero.
It's always an option.
Just saying.
4-4, 7.5 minutes in. Did we trade off Wisdom Runes? Yeah.
Yes, that was the one upside of them going on mid. You guarantee the Wisdom Rune trade, which Celery's definitely happy about. Yeah. I mean, you're saying he's like happy to soak up XP here, but it is a weird position for an AA who'd rather just be pulling if nothing else is happening.
They'll leave Darachi alone at the bottom lane, but a really good use of the dagger will get him over that little cliff area, and Tofu can get some damage back in return. No threat of anybody dying, but a decent play. punish and will allow Dyrachyo to clean up some CS. But he is being pushed out of lane. Mira's not giving up on it just yet.
And Miposhka even rotating down here, potentially throwing that Inkswell into the Breaker. I mean, this is a combination we also saw when Breaker was hot that last patch. The Team Spirit were very comfortable playing. The Inkswell Breaker across the map, giving you the guaranteed setup. This is what the CK is designed to help facilitate. Push the lanes in with CK illusions, be a ghost on the map, and all of a sudden you get one pickoff and your map just collapses, right? Well, on the flip side, Gaming trying to do something similar. If you can set anything up with a Primal Split or the Rolling Thunder, then suddenly Dyrachyo can come in and clean house. And this is a smoke designed to find Yatoro, but nobody's home. Yatoro.
They juke him out with a Phantasm. He's sent it back instead. Quinn and Ace will bite down on that, but it doesn't matter too much, that bait. They still get some pretty good damage onto the tower. One thing to note about that Inkswell combination with the Spirit Breaker. Oh, thought they were going to go on to Mira, but Mira is going through the portal. They don't have a stun to stop him. He gets the other side. Dyrachyo pursues.
Dagger does hit him.
Yeah, he's pretty damn slow, and he's going to hit him with another dagger. Mira, he needs the help from the Spirit Breaker. He has a snowball to buy a moment. Collapse, pops his ultimate, immediately goes for the kill onto Tofu. See if they can trade things out here for the shard and the calling. That actually protects him there. Collapse doesn't want to trade 2 for 1, so he's going to go ahead and give up on that. They cannot afford to give any more kills to this Dyrachyo Spectre.
Gonna rotate Laurel bottom. They really want to punish Dyrachyo.
There it is.
Results coming back.
The Inkswell charge in, chaining the stuns and adding up on the damage. Spirit Breaker got that 5% buff. The movement speed as damage got buffed up by 5%. That was enough to bring him back into the meta, but then that's even more if you add in this Inkswell movement speed buff.
It's a deadly combination for a reason. I like that rotation from Laurel, though. That's such a heads-up read there. You can just walk down the lane. There's no vision here. They probably had a read because Celery's been mid the whole time, right? It's going to limit where your observers are going to go. Just gets a really cheeky kill on the Spectre. Nice shard to buy some time.
Good driving by Quinn. Gets around that little speed bump in the way. Hopefully Dyrachyo can finish him up, but not quite. No, Shalgrave comes in for Law. Perfect timing there. Quinn does manage to get some decent damage on Yatoro, and Ace is here. He makes the difference. He makes it so Team Spirit can no longer fight bad. It's an overwhelming amount of team fight that he'll put to work to bring down Yatoro, and it looks like he's going to chase down Miposhka. Mira really trying for this one. He might just get himself killed in the process. Will it be good enough? Miposhka still dies, and sure enough, Mira, he's going to be in trouble as well. Good use of the shard, blocking him out, but he still falls. Cannot stop. Gaming Gladiators as they bring all 5, learning from Team Spirit perhaps. The only way to beat these guys in a team fight is you got to bring everybody to the table.
And that's why I think this draft feels a lot better for them to play. They can connect the heroes a lot faster. The Spectre facilitates that at a tremendous rate. And then Ace is just on a hero where even if his laning phase wasn't spectacular, which it has been this game, that Primal Split into a fast Radiance is going to give them all the team fight they need. This CK does not have free engagements, where I felt like in the first 2 games, Yatoro's connections were uncountered, right? Yeah. He goes in with a Weaver, goes in with a Faceless Void, gets what he wants and gets out. This game, Yatoro finds himself in a pickle mid where he just can't escape, pays the price. An 0-3 start for Yatoro got up here. Perhaps one of the rougher early games we've seen from him the entire tournament. That is a very good position for Gaimin to be in. It's going to shut down a lot of the pace.
Laurel's going to have to pick up that little bit of slack, right?
Yes.
He's going to have to step in with this Dazzle, but the Dazzle, I feel like, isn't a hero you really want to utilize just yet. Feels like that Aghanim Scepter is such a key timing. You can't afford to delay that by getting into some risky engagements.
And this hero is like Tinker in some ways. Like his first item, kind of easy to get to. You're a powerhouse when you get it, but then you fall into a valley, and it's like the next 2 or 3 you have to get to before you really come online in the ultra late, and those team fights start to become impossible for the enemy. That is a period where Gaimin can strike with this Radiance, which is going to be coming out fast on Ace this game. And just take the team fight to Team Spirit, which is where, again, you have to meet this team. You have to be willing to take the 5-on-5s and win them and translate it into objectives. You can't just go for the other first.
Smoke across the map. They failed to get the initiation on Collapse. We're going to try and join Quinn for the power rune. Quinn's going to need that help too. He silenced up the poison touch. The Inkswell's on top of him, but he does manage to get away with the swashbuckle just in time. The charge is going to complete. Collapse, he's got his ultimate. He may not even need it though. The poison touch slowed him down so much. And Miposhka is getting a TP out the shot. Oh, it was so close, but it runs out. It doesn't get there in time. And now a snowball to the other side to meet Dyrachyo, as it is now him who is surrounded by Team Spirit heroes. Too many to count.
And that is a Midas Chaos Knight coming in and cleaning up the enemy carry there. Yatoro gets some XP, a much better turnaround for him as opposed to the last River fight where they were still missing that tier 1. So maybe a smoke and connection that Quinn and the gang just didn't expect, considering, you know, they're missing that objective that went down in the previous fight.
Yep. But it seems like Team Spirit take advantage of that bit of an overlook from Quinn. And now Collapse, highest net worth in the game. But Gaming Gladiators don't want to slow down just yet. They still have that Rolling Thunder. Didn't use it in the last fight. So Tofu and Celery think to themselves that if they can get the right kind of initiation here with the Rolling Thunder, they can follow it up with the Ice Blast. But Yatoro, he's in the staircase. It's going to be very awkward. The Soulbind does actually latch onto the two of them as Spectre jumps into the mix as well. Please tell me they're going to hit him. Oh, they barely got it.
In the fountain, he will go down. It wasn't even the blast. It was like an urn tick or something that got him in the end. Post that grave. That was a nasty Soulbind, something they're going to have to think about with Dyrachyo haunting in. They will find the big pick.
Ace is so close to his Radiance, he could not afford to get picked off here. So at the first sign of danger, he uses his Primal Split. Though you could see the Spirit Breakers, pretty good answer to those Brewlings. No threat of dying here, but something to think about later into the game.
I mean, normally the Dispel and Tornado is a problem for this hero, but doesn't look like it so far. And like you said, Radiance 300 off for Ace. He just wants to get his big item and get the farm rate going. Still having a very good game on this Brewmaster.
Yeah, considering the Lone Druid game where he was so close to the Radiance for so long, I don't think he wants to risk that happening again.
And Radiance is an incredibly powerful item in this meta. It's better the faster you get it. In a lot of those games, Ace just didn't get it at a time where he could take the map or the fight's over with it. This is going to be a game where he has a very good chance to do that. As Yatoro still behind, right?
Yeah.
This is a double Midas lineup for Team Spirit. They have one on the CK, one on the Spirit Breaker, which, you know, has become the de facto build for the XP getting to the late game talents. It is going to slow the team fight presence down. I really feel like if Gaming can get a fight going in the next 2 to 3 minutes here, they're pretty favored, especially with Diffusal and Radiance coming out at the same time. This is a huge damage power spike. You want to get something going with it, and you want to get it going now.
They go for it. The Radiance is complete, though, on Ace, but they know the Primal Split is on cooldown.
Yeah, this is a beefy target to just go into, especially when you don't have the global ability to connect. I mean, how much does Collapse think he can chunk through here?
Tofu just left him alone. Tofu was needed to be able to disrupt this combination, but now Ace is left alone, speeds himself away. Somehow the Inkswell didn't go off in time, but Mapochka didn't pop that one. And Dyrachyo was like, okay, now it's my opportunity. Hello, Mapochka. Oh, almost got him with a fear shot there on the left-hand side, but Mapochka still dies. Collapse still in trouble, has a charge. Instead, opts for the TP out, but that doesn't make it.
Calculations not on point here. Yeah, he could have just charged the other side of the map. Maybe he didn't have a good target, but there was a mid-wave. They will collect a 3x streak off him.
Such an important kill, too. Gaming Gladiators with the Ice Blast on top of Laurel. Now, Collapse and Laurel, who were very much needed to be able to buy Yatoro time, now they've both fallen.
And now you're invading enemy triangle. This is where Gaming want to strike. They want to strike hard on the map right now, gain a lot of the momentum in this game. They have the supports to follow up on the core initiations. They have a crap ton of damage in the tank as long as they can see heroes. And with Dyrachyo able to join any of these goes, suddenly this map has collapsed pretty fast for Team Spirit. And Ags on the Dazzle try and stem some of this bleeding, but right now this crowd, they want to see a game 4. They want to see Gaming strike back in this game 3, and they are delivering.
Yeah, I'm not even convinced those are all Gaming Gladiators fans. They might just be Dota fans who want to be able to see more from a grand finals between these two teams, but it's still a long road ahead for Gaming Gladiators because they're only 2K net worth up. They've hit some timings, yes, but they still have to worry about the double hand of Midas. They have to play this clean. They need to be able to get good executions, but they can't afford to use any pickoffs. Good roll in from Quinn. From behind, though, trapping Team Spirit. Shot goes out, looking for more. The Dazzle was shown there. Quinn getting in front of him, blocks him out with a swashbuckle, slows him down with the inhibit from the Diffuser plate, allows Dyrachyo to do the damage. He pops a Shallow Grave. Laurel, he really wants to finish off Quinn. Will he get that kill? The poison touch. He's got a regen. A Lotus given over to him as well. Good plays from Gaming Gladiators. Give him the extra bit of regen he needs, and now he can pop the regeneration in his bottle for a full heal.
Max efficiency right now. All Team Spirit can do is cut some waves with their double Midas heroes and go late. Because right now it is all Gaming on the momentum chart. And a full Vessel was completed very fast here from Tofu. That even gives you more damage. Vessel plus A Blast is nasty in these team fights when you're throwing the vortexes down, particularly versus Dazzle, who wants to just heal through with the inverse waves and get that going.
Yeah, you've got Dazzle, you've got the Inkswell heal that, you know, would have been a factor if it wasn't for all the anti-heal they have. And then also the Chaos Strike, that lifesteal that the Chaos Knight is so dependent on.
And there is no downtime for this lineup.
Look at him, burned out of mana. They try and give him over a little bit, see if he can charge his way out of there, but he's silenced up by the Calling, trapped on the corner. And then they use that Storm Panda to be able to catch more. Laurel's gonna die as well. The Dazzle getting no footing in this game.
Ace making his presence felt, and this was with a second item, Boots of Travel. So this isn't even some like early Aura item.
Poshka looks like he didn't have a way back to the base, so he tried to skirt on through Gaming Gladiator side of the map, but he was spotted, and he will be brought down.
This Brew Spectre combination working wonders right now as Ace is 5-0 and 10. Completely unstoppable. And you can't bring the CK in to really help you here. The Brew is just great versus the hero with the Radiance Burn, the AoE miss. He has the evasion that Yatoro can't pierce. And not to mention his ult, you can go in, start messing up these CK illusions.
Yeah, with Radiance and the Dispel, this Chaos Knight's gonna be...
So, what are your options? I mean, you have to just wait until Yatoro's ready to fight, I think. You have to split the map with the Breaker, and this is where Gaimin can continue to try and pick you off, put the Vessel to use, put the Radiance to use. And of course, Dyrachyo, he's on a hero that doesn't have to, you know, farm up some crazy stacks, doesn't have to go in the fight first. He can just farm the defensive parts of the map. If nothing happens, he's still happy. I mean, you still got a Spectre. Drum for Tofu just to buff up the team fight even more here. Sporta is doing work, also having a perfect game so far. And the calling is not a spell that these Team Spirit heroes want to fight into. It's annoying for Mira going in with the Snowball. It's annoying for Larl trying to run in and grave people with low-level Grave. This team fight is very obnoxious right now, and it's going to collect a free Tier 2.
So, a Tier 2 at 19 minutes for Gaming Gladiators. They can actually take away that outpost. They've got a pretty good chokehold on the map. What they desperately need now is just not to slip up anywhere, not allow Team Spirit an opening. So they're building up this net worth lead. It may become insurmountable as long as Team Spirit doesn't pull anything sneaky here. The smoke up, it slips right past Team Spirit. They the high ground ward immediately spots him at Poshka, and Dyrachyo recognizes that that is the hero he wants to get first, and the dead shot bounced over to Yatoro and hit by the Rolling Thunder. He's trapped, caught, and there's nowhere to go from there. Too many disables on the side of Gaming Gladiators, and they have way too much damage. They need the BKBs on the side of Team Spirit, but they're not going to get them anytime soon.
He had it.
Oh, he had it.
Yeah, it was a BKB. He disassembled in body. He just didn't want to pop it. He didn't have Phantasm. There's no turnaround there.
Yeah.
He will choose to save it for another day. That is the 5th death for Yatoro here, who is yet to make a single kill in this game.
Hey, there's the Dazzle play, though. 20 minutes on the dot. They're going to use the Couriers to use the Aghanim Shadow Wave. He could solo up that.
That's the better shard I think they were hoping for.
Oh, yeah.
Inkswell shard from Aposhka going to be pretty damn nice here. Try and dispel these melee heroes when they go in. Still, I feel like if you're Team Spirit, you're trying to rat this game out right now. And that is a big paradigm shift from games 1 and 2.
Yeah, how do you rat, though, against a Spectre and, well, you got this Quinn. He is running around with a Pangolier. You're not going to be able to solo in a lane for very long. It only takes a few seconds for Gaming Gladiators to spot the opportunity and jump onto you. An Ice Blast not even needed. Tofu has the damage necessary to kill the support by himself.
And the really nice thing about what's happening right now for Gaimin is this Spectre is doing an amazing job protecting their wards. One of the biggest things you have to combat when you play against Team Spirit is the vision advantage. They had it a lot in Game 1 with that Treant Protector. They abused it pretty damn well in Game 2. Here, it's Miposhka trying to get out, get vision for the team, de-ward these aggressive obs that are doing work for Gaming because they know they're there. They're getting taunted on. Yeah. But the cooldown's just so damn low by the time you're back up. By the time you run there to try and gain anything, they're ready to jump on you again. And yeah, I mean, there's always a little Spectre bias in the win probability, and I think that's fair to say. But this is the best Gaming has looked in this series by a large degree. They're continuing to build the momentum.
And he can continue to build the single target items since Ace is built the Radiance, so he could just focus on being able to take out a support in a second. He's gonna build into an Orchid up next, so now if you're spotted anywhere on the map, Dyrachyo can guarantee that there's Grimshoke dies or the Tusk dies or maybe even some of the cores. He's gonna pop it here, looking for Mira. They just get the vision on him. They'll spot him now, and there it is. They jump immediately. Snowball tried to put to work, but it just means he's going to be dragged back in. He does manage to get a shard, but unfortunately, Dyrachyo doesn't care about your blocks there. The Ice Shards does nothing when he has free pathing.
Spirit just bleeding out right now. They have no answer to the Spectre on the map. Their supports are way too squishy. They don't have an early Aura buy. There's no Beastmaster or anything to help protect the backline on the map or help them get lanes out. All three of these cores are just building for themselves, right? It's damage items into BKB. You have two Midases that are still trying to get the work done. Collapse will try and find a pickoff on Tofu, and this will combine with Miposhka, so they strike back a little bit on the map.
Much needed.
And finally, they're getting some deep vision out as well. You look at these dire obs, it took Miposhka a while, but these are some visions they can play around at least. Though, of course, the second you get spotted...
Miposhka somehow doesn't get spotted by Quinn there. And they have to charge back in. Are they really going to try this a second time? He's got an armor room. It's so much shield he's got. Miposhka's just going to stay hidden here. The charge canceled by the Spirit Breaker.
Rolling Thunder very far away. He's just going to initiate from 3,000.
Yeah, because at any point in time, the Spectre can join him as soon as he gets that initiation, but they don't quite catch him. The Ice Blast is going to be stretched out. Yutaro may see an opportunity to turn this around. Yeah, he's going to go for Dyrachyo here with the snowball. There's so many heroes. They dispel out the Phantasm, but Yutaro himself, he will bring down, he will use his own hand to take down the enemy carry. Now looks to finish up these Brewlings if possible. Gaming Gladiators trying so hard. The last one is going to die. Double kill for Yutaro, and they turn back for Celery. A blink away from Quinn. He cannot afford to get caught here, but he doesn't have a TP. If he gets spotted...
They scanned him. They know.
Another scan. Uh-oh. Quinn's going to be in for a rude awakening in a second here. He just needs his blink up, and he gets hit by the Dimjo. Swashbuckler from the side, but they have the silence on him. The Ghost remains with Quinn. He tries to go for a roll-up play, but he's got nowhere to roll away to.
Those have TP back. But
stuck in the corner, gets some good damage from Swashbuckler with too many heroes.
Really nice scan to finish up that fight, and I mean, a little overextension there under a tier 2 gives a really good fight to Yutaro. Ace dispelled a lot of the illusions, instantly dealt with some of the DPS, but Ink Swells, the shards, all these little spells adding up, and of course Dyrachyo going down first. That's a lot of the damage that's been working for you. Downside of this Orchid build, right? The pickoff game is where it's strong. The 5-on-5, this Orchid's not doing anything for you into the early BKBs here. Team Spirit strike back, and just like that, somehow Yutaro is top of the board with from 0-5 to highest net worth. This Midas and the Illusions are doing work on the map right now.
I remember this was double Midas lineup plus a Dazzle, the hidden Tinker. This lineup is going to start ramping up pretty damn quickly if you give them the space to work with. And right now, they've got 3 cores farming in 3 different parts of the map after a successful team fight. Gaming Gladiators, they cannot afford any more slip-ups. They've got Roshan still to be taken here at 25 minutes in.
It's also time for Miposhka to de-ward. One of the problems they were facing earlier in this game, suddenly he can run around with his courier, place a bunch of sentries, make sure there's not the deep vision that Gaming were playing off of earlier. So now it shifts the onus back on to Gaming in terms of you got to make an aggressive smoke, get vision back on the map, and keep setting up these pickoff plays for Dyrachyo, who's the one maybe getting picked off here. Yutaro just walks in blind.
Get a 3-second stun, pull him back in, but the silence is doing a lot of work. Quinn tries to roll up, but collapsing. The Ice Blast does manage to grab 2 of those cores, roll up the snowball onto Dyrachyo. They chase after Yutaro. Yutaro's in big time trouble. They give him the Shallow Grave. Laurel
what a shard.
BKB, but a beautiful shard blocking out some of these heroes. It's not enough. Yutaro still falls, and now with the toss up in the air, Laurel will come down to a hard reality. Crash down, he does have the BKB, and look at that heal. That Aghanim Scepter with so many units around him. It's so much heal. He is not going to die so easily. Gaming Gladiators thought they had an easy target. He will fight to the bitter end. He'll bring down Dyrachyo before he finally falls. Collapse stuck, though, in the silence. The buyback required from Gaming Gladiators because Laurel was too tough of a nut to crack.
That looked way closer than it should have been. These inverse heals are doing mad work at the end of the fight. Have to respect the burst that can come out from this Dazzle when that A Blast has been used earlier on, but still great team fight from Gaming. Started out with Yutaro just walking blind into their triangle, and they were ready for him. Shadowblade did not help him out in that type of fight, and that Ice Blast, it was a beauty from Celery. Landed on pretty much everybody, forces the disengage, and the calling silenced Mira on this jump, right? This is the problematic aspect of this support matchup. When you go in with the Tuskar, this AoE silence clips you. Your team fight's just a nightmare. Beautiful shards on the flip to block off the Pandas from Laurel. Another really heads-up play, but damn, the damage is already done at this point, and now it's just a matter of cleaning up, which sounds easier than it actually looked like, right?
All of those Illusions and Brewlings play against Gaming Gladiators in the worst way. And in the end, Laurel Living does get Dyrachyo killed, so.
Have to think about clumping up on top of this Dazzle in the later portions of these fights, but I mean, luckily, that's all the Primal Split, right? The second Ace comes out, he's still full. He's still got Manta Radiance. He's ready to party. He's going to slap some extra kills down for the full team wipe here. Just when this game was slipping up a little bit of momentum, Gaming strike back, get themselves a full 5-man wipe into the Roshan. We'll put an Aegis out on Quinn here, who's slowly getting towards that Ags. That team fight definitely helps. Still 500 off here, but that's going to be a large damage ramp as the Shadow Step comes out.
Garachio's trying to do this solo. It's a bit dangerous. Collapse, they're going to try and turn back around. They do have the Ice Blast that'll finish off here pretty easily. And Collapse, he's got to be careful of his damage by Yatoro. He comes in, swipes down Garachio. But the rest of the team is now here from Gaming Gladiators looking for the catch, but Collapse has already rolled away. Ball taking out. Oh, the hook shot. It's not quite enough. They have no stuns. Collapse breaks free.
Straight through the man's heart. He did not care. He just walks it off. Can't really get much closer than that. And once more, Yatoro, he finds an angle in the fight, cleans up the Garachio, and gets the hell out. That is a full Silver Edge reveal done.
And now the Aegis is going to be taken away from Quinn.
The pickoff game is shifting, right?
Yes, it is. They're not respecting the Shadow Blades, not respecting the aggression, but Eul's Scepter stalls him up. Collapse, Yatoro actually has BKB. They do catch the Ancient Apparition. He's going to die pretty damn quickly there. Roll up. The Brewling's going to work, though.
They need to
stalling out Yatoro. Now that his BKB is on cooldown, now their magic damage can really go to work, and they can slice and dice through that carry pretty damn quickly. Miposhka, obviously, he doesn't have much hope of living through this. So the fight does turn against them. Not the worst, though, for Team Spirit, I would say, just purely the fact that they're continuing to keep things a little even.
And their other two cores are farming the map.
Yes.
And they've got to be happy with, like, you know, the next 10 minutes here. This is when the Dazzle and the Breaker are going to come online. They've recovered some of the lost net worth differential here. These heroes get very spooky around the 3rd to 4th item, and they're going to get them damn fast as Collapse is just farming up the map. But Yatoro's aggression used against him here. They'll get the return carry kill. That was a cocky move going up that hill and just taking the fight with his BKB. He can BKB TP there. Just opted. Blood for blood. Why not? We're in the arena.
I love that Garachio still not slowing down. He may die every once in a while, but he says, you know, ultimately the end game is okay with me. We're still getting some good trade-offs in fights. I'm still going to try and limit your split push by going on you whatever you can.
Doesn't want to let him get away with a tier 2 for free.
BKB, they stick on top of him with the silence and the stuns. It's enough. Quinn is stunned up for so long. And now Tofu's going to be in some trouble as well. He pops his ultimate. That just kind of delays things a little bit, but there's no one coming to save him.
If you're getting multiple Ink Souls off in these fights, it's probably going to win you the engagement. And right now, you're just getting outnumbered at a tier 2. You overextended on. Courier will die as well. No Brewmaster ultimate for that type of fight. As strong as Ace is right now with a full AC completed on top of everything else, he does want this ult to take the long engagement, right? He's the most farmed hero in this game right now. If you're gaming, you have to play around what he wants to do, where he wants to take the fights, and what he can commit to. Otherwise, you're just creating an opening for Spirit to come in and pick you off. Yatoro once more looking for the initiation with 2 heroes dead. He'll get scouted on an Ob Sentry.
This is something that started to happen in that game too, where they managed to get, like, it was that one pick off on Celery, right? Where it's like they used the Chronosphere, picked off Celery, and it was like, okay, Chrono for a 5 position. But then they kept that going. You're like, okay, it's 4 versus 5. Then they found another pickoff and another pickoff, and it just so quickly snowballed against them. Gaming Gladiators, you gotta beware. Team Spirit will keep this aggression on point if they think they have the advantage.
And another Tormentor swiftly dealt with from Laurel and the Courier brothers over here.
That'll just mean his Chaos Bolt is all the more deadly for some of these supports.
And we can see how Yatoro wants to take these fights, right? Create confusion with his ult going through on lanes, show up with a Silver Edge, get a pick off, maybe reset. He doesn't have to commit into the full 5-on-5 into the Brew and Pango, which could control him in that type of situation.
Oh, he got stuck! Oh no! Landed on a pebble there, and as a result, Miposhka gets a pretty free TP on out of there. The smoke that's ruined, a Rolling Thunder that's used for nothing.
Interesting little tree.
The tree's just powerful.
One of the primal forces in Dota.
First cliffs, then trees. Quinn's having a...
Yeah, Quinn's having a tough time with the terrain today.
He's fighting Team Spirit. He's fighting the
map. Yeah. Happens to the best of us. Another pickoff that they will miss, which is time for the Midases to go to work, right?
Yep.
They have been cranking this whole time and climbing the charts. This game is a 1K net worth lead now at 32 minutes. Dead even. And everything depends on these team fights. Collapse just
charging. They're getting the right kind of initiation here. A charge that hits both supports. Quinn on the run here. They immediately jump after him. Laurel chasing after him with that shard to be able to slow him down. Yeah. He's not going anywhere. 3 dead on the side of Gaming Gladiators, and Team Spirit have changed this game. The narrative was supposed to be Gaming Gladiators controlling and seeing if they could end it, but Team Spirit have turned this all back around in the space of just this 5 to 7 minutes.
And this is the Spirit Breaker problem. What happens when you enter the mid game and this hero starts to take over the lanes, get mega farmed, and suddenly one charge, you're down half your HP. Inkswell just makes this combo even more oppressive. The only real answer is you just start the fight on your terms with the Primal Split going in with a Haunt and delete the supports. Create a situation where you have numbers advantage, and even when the charge comes through, you don't care because you have the longevity and ace to deal with it. If you're just getting caught in the open like that, it's a death sentence. And right now, Collapse is just running the map, literally. He is getting 6-slotted very fast. Yep. And the question is, do you have good late-game answers to the Spirit Breaker here if you're gaming? Outside of tossing him in the air, dispelling him before BKB, not really, right? None of those traditional answers like a Shadow Demon or the Soulbind, which is on Team Spirit's side.
Yep. And that'll be a problem, especially if Collapse is able to use that charge to kill those Fruit Lanes. That charge damage is pretty heavy. 31-22, 4,000 net worth lead for Team Spirit. As they've managed to turn this game around and continue to dodge attempts by Gaming Gladiators. You could see the window's been taken out of the Gaming Gladiator sale. Dyrachio's not playing with that same kind of fearless that he once was, where anytime a hero showed up, he would just instantly jump and see if he could get the kill.
Yeah, the map has just gone dark. Right? You have one defensive off if you're gaming, but those days of where you were picking people off on Spirit's side of the map have come and gone. You're now entering their portion of the game. You kind of have to get around this. You can go late here. Spectre plus the Brewmaster, especially with how much farm Ace has found in this game, are going to continue to scale pretty damn hard. And of course, you always have this option of like tossing the Dazzle in the fight with the Wind Panda and taking the fight that way. Yep. It's a pretty damn good option, a pretty good way to deal with Dazzle in a lot of the historic matchups between these two heroes. But you got to keep scaling on everybody. The Muerta and the AA scale is really important here for gaming. If you can get a 4th core out of this Muerta, which, you know, Tofu has a full link, and he's very farmed. None of it is like direct Muerta damage, you know. I mean, he doesn't have like an Ags or a Mjolnir or Silver Edge of his own, but you can only expect so much. Still, it will deal a decent amount of damage. If you can lock heroes in the calling post BKB, that's the dream. A little pump fake action.
Next fight coming up, all about Roshan. 10 seconds till that potential spawn time, and then we'll see when he's actually going to show up.
Also, Celery went back for this Ancient Apparition Blink, something we've seen develop in this meta. He is looking for that AA blast on the big cores. The Dazzle and the CK especially, that is who he wants to hit. Cannot get snowball dodged. You can't really just AA ult some random supports. It's not going to be good enough to win the fight. Need to connect this ult on a big target and Collapse. He's just going to lead the charge with Bulldoze here. Not afraid of too much while both carries on the other side of the map.
Look at him just running in there.
This is a fight without Yatoro.
Oh, that ward somehow slips past detection. Oh, no, he's got it. Brace Lincoln gets him with the Dispel on the Yule Scepter, but it is going to cost Celery his life. He does have a buyback. He's going to play for it. Quinn off the mark there with his Blink in, trying to hit some heroes, but they've already popped their BKBs and are resetting a little bit. Celery, he's going to try and walk back into this fight. He's got to be careful, though. He may get caught by Collapse. He spots him.
Found the A again.
The tower. Yeah, that Ancient Apparition's gone. No more Ice Blast for you to be able to use. Ace has to use his ultimate. He knew the Yatoro was gunning for him there, and he could have been chain stunned up. Now they back away. Primal Split being used. If they can get everybody out, it's a dream for Team Spirit. Collapse is making that momentum, though. Pushed back by the Void Panda. Now hit by the Orchid. If they can kill Collapse, that'd be great, but he has so many dispels and so many heals. Mira jumping in, going for the back line. The Pango's been caught, and Yatoro, he destroys him so instantly. Now turns his damage onto Dyrachio. Back by Collapse. A charge on through. Tofu, he just managed to get the Force Staff down to low ground. Does get a dead shot onto Collapse, but he's still pretty damn healthy, and they can't turn this one around. It is all Team Spirit, and they will feast on the Brewmaster last.
Team fight decision making just off the charts here. I mean, the kiting dealing with the ult, they just make it look way too easy right now, and so many charges going through from Collapse. He is looking for the high five, and he will get it here.
That was a fight for Roshan, but it is now a fight to hit high ground.
I mean, that's a fight for an Aegis. What are you going to do if you don't have the buybacks or you're not willing to commit them right here? You don't even have the Primal Split if Ace is back. He doesn't even have the buyback. You are short.
Massive swing.
short on so many levels right now. Collapse even ulting a Brewling because he knew the Linken's was coming back up on Tofu just to get back in there and get another charge through. Lead is absolutely exploding here for Team Spirit as they are sensing potentially a second Aegis going their way. One more bad team
Barracks and a Roshan to take. Team Spirit, they still have time on the clock. 30 seconds left on the Brewmaster's revive. That is more than enough to get this Aghanim Scepter and a Crystallis. They were winning that fight. Now they've got like 10,000 more gold of items to be able to use with an Aegis and Cheese and all these other items flowing in. Now you've got a Grimstroke with an Aghanim Scepter, Silver Edge fully complete.
They are creating too many problems. You can't deal with any of them. Level 25 also coming out on Collapse, so even more bashes on top of the Ags. If you thought this Spirit Breaker was causing you problems before, he's going to be causing them double now. Just no control for him, and he's way too tanky to try and burst. Dyrachyo is just not doing enough single target DPS at this point. You're going to need one hell of a long, drawn-out fight.
Team Spirit, crazy. They're up 2-0. In this series. They're down in this game 3. They have a 5% chance to make it back in. Sure, they could just give it up, say, well, guys, it's a best of 5. We can give them one. But they claw their way back into this game, are now in a commanding position to potentially 3-0 the challengers in Gaming Gladiators.
That is what makes this team absolutely terrifying at this point in tournaments. And we saw everybody from all these teams talk about it, right? If you get ahead of this team, what does it mean? It just means when they might beat you, it feels even worse. Right now, this game has turned itself on the head, as you said. Over 20k lead. Aegis up for 4 minutes. So it'll be up to Yatoro in terms of whether he wants to push the high ground during this interval and try and end this game. He feels like he needs even more. There's still a lot of room to grow here. They did finish up an Ags on Miposhka as well, so now you can start to get some Dark Portraits in the mix. Just add even more chaos and confusion to the fight. More damage sources. Yatoro.
Quinn, blink it away.
No fear.
Can't get caught. Otherwise, that is welcoming Team Spirit into your base. Charge complete, half his health. Fuel Scepter is going to be used. Nicely breaking with that Linken's, but he didn't use that Bulldoze towards the end there.
And these are just free. They have the ways to get Collapse out every time. There's a Linken's, there's a Swell, there's Four Staff's Grave. Yatoro's going to take his chance to
Big burst down. Oh, man. Before you can even complete the sentence, he's already gone. They do have an Ice Blast, though. That's pretty well positioned. Dyrachyo's already cleaned up the Grimstroke. It's not too bad, but Dyrachyo, he needs to get out of there. Oh, my God, that's so much.
Buyback from the Spectre.
It's too much damage. Spectre has to win this now, but he has to be careful of that Dazzle. They have to be able to take away this Aegis at the bare minimum. Surely they have to go for more. They have to risk it. Collapse is going to charge on through to make sure you can't set up on Yatoro. Now Yatoro will turn back around on you. He's ready for that fight. He pulls back into Dyrachyo. This could be it for Gaming Gladiators unless they find a way out of it. Quinn's dead next. Now Dyrachyo, a dive back for him. He falls. Tofu's pulled back in. He is pulled to his death, down into his grave. Quinn, last man standing for Gaming Gladiators.
It will be a one-man stand against what is looking like the best team in the world right now. Absolutely, as they take a commanding team fight victory inside Gaimin's base. No buyback on the Brewmaster there. They just delete the highest net worth hero for Gaimin straight off the bat. No turnaround potential, and you are running out of lives. You are running out of games to play here as Team Spirit. They don't want to just be the best team in the world. They want to prove that they are one of the best teams ever to grace this stage right now. And they are showing why. They're going to go for the Megas, play it safe. And Ags finished on Mira. He's about to kick this team straight out of the tournament if he has his way. And they're going to go right for the throne.
Quick reactions from Quinn. Has to blink away. Just one little opening is all it takes with Mira lurking from behind.
Ace back up. We'll see what he can do to stall this out. Gonna need one hell of a primal split here.
Yatoro starts pushing forward. Mira doesn't quite get it there, and they actually stop the Spirit Breaker right in front of their base, but they're locked in by the shards. Quinn's able to hop around it, but now it holds him in place. He can't do anything against that, but at least the Brewmaster can. Gets off the split, but the throne is exploded, and now he's been pulled
back. Welcome to hell.
Oh no! It is too much for Gaming Gladiators to be able to handle. They are not going to be able to get through this. They have to pray to get out, but the Cathedral is merciless. It is Team Spirit who are unstoppable. They will take it. The best team in the whole goddamn world, without a doubt. Silent against every other team. 3-0.
Absolutely an incredible performance in the Grand Finals against the best team in the season, an undefeated Grand Final team in Gaming Gladiators, a team that has defeated an entire lower bracket to get here. They take 3-0 in record time, kick them out of this event, claim a second Aegis for the crew, the first one for Laurel, who has fit in immaculately with this roster. This is a team everybody had on their radar, but they have slowly built it up over the course of the year, are hitting in prime form right now, and it shows. This team has multi-generational players, and now they are absolutely cementing themselves as one of the best teams ever to play the game of Dota 2.
How do you stop these guys? You can't beat them early. You can't beat them late. Even when you have the full advantage, you have full control of the game, they'll beat you on the comeback too. Team Spirit did it every way possible. Nothing is left for them but the handshakes in the end for Gaming Gladiators, who had an admirable run through the lower bracket. I mean, it was the stuff of great stories, but it comes to an end here with Team Spirit just being too damn good.
Yotaro Boss, this man walks out, he shaves his head, he sends a mental message before the round even starts. This is a long due victory for them over the course of this year. They've built up to it.
And for 2 times, the second time in the Dota's history, Team Spirit will claim the Aegis. Team Spirit win the International.
All right. Sorry, gentlemen. Just a moment of your time. Congratulations, Laurel, from last place to first, baby. How are you feeling right now? You have joined the club. You have won the International.
I feel great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for an unbelievable game. Miposhka, hello. I must interview you right now. Congratulations, led the boys again. You've joined the 2-time club. Did you know you had a 5% chance, probability of winning that game? And you guys came back. How's it feel to be a 2-timer, baby?
It's a magic. Like, it's our team spirit.
And finally, I got to do it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the undisputed best carry player in the world! entire time, all your fans around the world. Any last words for the world of Dota coming from you, my man, at Team Spirit?
Thanks for our support.
Let's go. Thank you so much and congratulations to Team Spirit. Well done. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up one more time for your TI champions, Team Spirit!
They have done it! 3-0. Team Spirit demolished their opponents. They left no space for Gaming Gladiators in that grand finals, and this will be a moment that will go down in history. One of the most dominant teams in Dota 2 history. Gaming Gladiators came close, but Team Spirit, the ultimate raid boss selfies need to be taken. That Aegis will be pictured a lot tonight. I'm joined here by Lacoste, Effie, and T-Gov, and we're here to talk to you about everything that we missed. If we missed anything, I don't even think we missed anything. I think Team Spirit, Lacoste, they are amazing.
Absolutely. This is the team that, you know, they didn't get the chance to experience crowd at TI10 when they won it, and really glad that Seattle is cheering really hard for them. This is the team that had a bit of a rough year at the start, and they started to pick it up. You know, going into the Riyadh Masters, Dream League, they know when to power up. This is the team that enjoys playing on the main stage so much. You can see on their faces all the smiles. That's what Dota is about, having fun and winning some big money.
Oh yeah, but my God, what a team. I mean, they are magical. I feel like the only other team in the history of Dota that embodied this kind of resilience and passion for the game was OG in their former run, but this Team Spirit, it's like we haven't seen anything like them. Their players have improved so much in the last year, so much. I can't even speak to the improvement of Mira, of Laurel in particular, and for them to just win this Aegis after a year that looked rocky for them at the start, after not placing well in the 3 majors this year, for everything to suddenly fall into place, for everything to finally click right around the corner for TI. I mean, if that isn't magic, I don't know what is, T.
I mean, it's the fact that they have these systems in place to be able to shape Lau into the player, to become the mid laner, you know, be able to replace Toronto Tokyo. Again, like Lacoste mentioned, the start of the year, it was shaky. They barely got in the top 8 of one of the 3 majors, and now here, they get first place, and for Yotaro, sorry, 2-time TI winner, and also second ever player to get a Rampage in a TI finals. The crowd love him. He's just popping off in the game. Like, this team, they are just incredible.
I mean, Dota has not seen a player like Yotaro for a very long time. I mean, he was in contention for people saying he's the best carry in the world, the GOAT, but he has proved that here today at TI. And even earlier this year, during the Riyadh Masters, he carried his team to victory. He fought tooth and nail when they looked like they were going to lose, when it looked like there was no hope in their games. He was the one to just push them forward. And here at TI, they all connected, they all came together, and it was just a beautiful team victory here.
It was a great victory. Great support coming out of the Climate Pledge Arena as well. And for everybody in the arena, I also want to make sure that you guys are aware that you are allowed to stay here for the late game show as well, so you can witness that. You can witness Team Spirit in the late game show with Perry and Flax and Jenkins. So just so you're aware, you don't go anywhere. There's a lot more to come. Team Spirit's run has been fantastic. We got 4 new TI, double TI champions, and I must bring it back to Laurel because his story has just been fantastic. You heard Slack say it on the main stage. He came dead last last year, and it was a rocky start, but there was support from all his teammates, support from the organization. We heard on the main stage, Yotaro said at Riyadh Masters, I really want to win this championship because I want Laurel to experience what it's like. And that he did, and then he went to take on the International with the same squad, and I can't believe they did it here as well.
And they just did it in such style as well. Like, they've played so many different types of games as well. Like, they're not just doing one thing the entire time. They are, every single time they approach a game, it's a new way Spirit approaches to beat their opponents. And I don't know, it's just the most commendable way to win it. And sure, it was a 3-0, but it was a 3-0 in style. And yeah, Team Spirit,
like they believed in Laurel when you know, getting that last place at TI, and also some big shoes to fill. This guy, he's nuts. Every single game that he played, you could see that he's powering up. Throughout the tournaments, you could see that he can be toe-to-toe against some of the best mid laners in the world, and now he is the best mid laner in the world, crown immortalized.
Absolutely, what a story. And I mean, for Laurel to play in this team, like Lacoste mentioned, the shoes were big, the nerves were there, and every time Team Spirit performed badly, he was blamed. There was mass criticism from the fans, mass criticism of Laurel from the community. People were begging to have this player replaced, but the other members of Team Spirit refused. They believed in him. They said that they think he has the potential. They said that they trust him and they know that he's their mid laner. And here we are at TI, he's won it.
Yeah, immortalized on his Dazzle at that. I just want to take a small moment to just iterate the wallpaper every time as the heroes that won TI. We have Chaos Knight, Dazzle, and Spirit Breaker as our boards on that wallpaper. I think, Tiga, that is the perfect embodiment here.
Oh, it's so beautiful. You know, just Spirit Breaker, you know, just going to be next year, we're going to have to remember this beautiful cow, just in the, the good times.
The good times will be remembered for a very long time to come. I also know that the average age of players here, this might be a random point, the average age of players playing at TI is around 23 years old. Yatoro is 20 years old. He won his first international at 17. Now his second international at 20. Lacoste, I mean,
It's not to think about.
Can continue going.
He pretty much played for only one team, Yellow Submarine, which kind of turned into Team Spirit. The other members of the team, Laurel, who started to play professional Dota in 2021, collapsed. He only played for 3 teams. Mira, only 2 teams, one of them also being, you know, just predecessor to Yellow Submarine, and the veteran Miposhka leading the team. You know, so you have this mix of a new blood and also some veteran player that's going to lead them to the victory.
I mean, the key thing here is the future of Dota is bright, right? Like when you think about the players here, they're 20 years old, 22 years old, and they've only been playing competitive Dota for, what, nearly 4 or 5 years, some of them. Like, these are the ones lifting the ages time and time again, and it's like, yeah, it's just so good to see.
And also, I just want to highlight the support duo of Team Spirit. I mean, we've talked about Laurel, we've talked about Collapse, we've talked about Yatoro, and these are incredible players, but Miposhka and Mira are the heart of this team. They are the backbone of this team. They play so well every game, and their praises go unsung because it's so hard to shine on a team with someone like Yatoro, right? But they're so consistent. They're there with the saves. They're there with the lanements. They're there with the pressure. They do everything right, and they have done everything right this TI.
Yeah, and for Miposhka especially, we know that his first recorded professional results were in 2015, but he's been around for a very long time, Lacoste. And this guy, this is his second TI win. What a crowning achievement at such a successful career.
Absolutely. This guy is just amazing. You know, whenever we get the chance to talk to him, like the insight that he gives, of course, he doesn't want to reveal everything. Maybe after TI, we're going to see in some of these vlogs. This guy is just a rock of the team. Like, you can rely on him. He's going to be carrying the game on some of his signature heroes when it's necessary. This guy is just a menace to play against.
And he has that, you know, compassion that embodies a leader in a team like this. If you've ever interacted with him or heard him speak of his teammates, he views them so fondly. He's very calm. He's not the type of person to lead with anger, to lead with a form of aggression. He's one of those captains that just leads through friendship, and as cliche as that sounds, that is who he is.
Yeah, and it bleeds into the team as well, because when they're even behind, when they're down, they're still smiling, they're still having fun. Like, how often do you see a pro team when they're, you know, backs against the wall, they're still enjoying the game? Like, Team Spirit, throughout this entire journey, not only were they the best team, but they just enjoyed every single moment, and it's why they're able to be so successful.
At TI10, they won first 2 games, then they lost 2 games, but this time around, TI12, they made it look very easy. 2 games were complete, you know, obliteration coming up from Team Spirit. In the 3rd game, 4%, and they still managed to come back. Dota Plus, not really. You know, Team Spirit, they're all against the odds.
4% it was, by the way.
Yeah.
4% to win that. That is, whew.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, the game was very close. It just shows a lot of character that they were able to beat back, Effie.
Exactly. I mean, this is the spirit of this team. This is what they embody. Yes. They are determined. Even when they're playing with a net worth deficit, they never play like they are. They play like they're always in the lead. They play like there's always a means into the game. And you've heard from the teams who have lost to Spirit or won against Spirit, they always say, regardless of winning against this team, they exhaust you. They make you tired. They fight for the entirety of the game, for every inch of the map. And I mean, that's why they're here. That's why they lifted the Aegis.
That is why they lifted the Aegis through hard work. They worked really hard this year to get to the point where they were on their team synergy and on their Dota, of course, as well. They went through the upper bracket. They only dropped this entire TI run, road to the international and all. They only dropped 2 games, T. Only 2.
It's just crazy to think about, and especially because like the group stage, it was so clean for them. They dropped a game to Virtus.pro, a regional opponent. Yep. Dropped a game to Liquid as well, and then as soon as they went against LGD, I feel like they just leveled up. And of course, Yatoro, I mean, he shaved his head. Like, did you expect any other result today?
Sacrifice was made.
I mean, he is the most successful to-go bald pro player ever in the history. People have followed in his footsteps, failed miserably. He has 2 times in a row done it. Bam,
Listen
2 wins.
He's the only one who can wield that power. Okay, yeah. This power exists within Yatoro's realm. It's not something for other mere mortals to shave their heads and win TI. But on the topic of one more player, I do really want to give my commends and Mira his flowers, because I remember after he won TI 10, he did a few interviews where he said that he felt like an imposter. He didn't feel good enough to be a TI winner. He didn't feel like this was valid. He didn't necessarily get that sense that he was one of the best players in the world. So now that he's a 2-time TI winner, I really hope that that imposter syndrome can go away, because he's proven it not just to himself, to his fans, but to us, the Dota community, the rest of the world.
Yeah.
They need to update this picture. I'm sorry. This is unacceptable.
Yeah. They do. I mean, to be honest, I don't think... Well, we've seen other pros attempt to shave their head to embody Yatoro's power, but let's be real, that power is his own. And it works for him. It works for the team. They have done it. They have taken the Aegis for the 2nd time round, which is an incredible achievement. So congratulations once again to Team Spirit for having their victory. I feel like we also need to give a little bit of light there to Gaming Gladiators, because they also had a fantastic run. They came 2nd at this international, and that is not something to be ashamed of. It might feel really rough right about now, especially after that 3rd game, which was a game they were very close, Lacoste, to be able to force out a next one.
Absolutely. I mean, Gaming Gladiators, they were the team to beat throughout this year. But like all 3 majors were won by them throughout the upper bracket, and they looked like a team that's not going to stop. But unfortunately for them, Team Spirit, they did power up at the right time. And also, Gaming Gladiators, they also had really, really good tournament so far. You know, dropping down to lower bracket and making the magical run. Unfortunately, Team Spirit, they were too strong today.
They were very much too strong today, and while we witnessed Team Spirit's victory, a lot of people around the world were able to cheer them on and revel in their victory. This is Moscow. We have so many pop songs happening around the world. I also want to say once again, late game is coming right after this, so you don't even have to leave. I know a lot of people were having their time slot booked out for a full best of 5. We might not have gotten that, but there is still more content coming on this very channel and in the Climate Pledge Arena as well. So much love coming from around the world here for Dota 2 and its World Championship. The international was taken by Team Spirit, but truly the real winners are all the fans. And I know that there are so many people already that can't wait for 2024 when there's a new hero in the mix. I also think that we learned a lot at this international that we can all incorporate in our own games. And I'm not talking about Dental Middle, though I think we might see that as well.
Shave your head before queuing up some pubs.
Oh no, there's new ways to take the Tormentor down. That's something that I learned. You can do it with Bristleback. With this Aghanim Sentry, you just turn your back. You can do it with Dazzle if you just have couriers around and you heal the couriers and get the armor low and everything.
I just realized as well, technically Yatoro, he also won the Aegis, but he also won the most deaths to Tormentor this TI. So congratulations! Yay!
Yay! I mean,
another one.
Another win.
Wait, if that's true, then that proves that the Tormentor is the ultimate villain. It's the hardest thing in Dota to beat because it beat Yatoro.
There it is. The only thing that could beat him.
The Tormentor.
Yeah. Tormi is too strong.
Nerf Tormentor. OP.
OP. Now, I know I've said it a couple times, but I'll say it again. there is a late game show, and it will feature all of Team Spirit. You can watch it at home if you want to. That's fine. You can watch it in the arena if you want to, or you can watch maybe in Charlotte Martin Theater in Seattle, if you can find a seat, which I'm sure you're going to be highly confident. But if you get there in time, then kudos to you. But there's a lot of content in that one, and it will be a fantastic late game. So you better make sure you watch that one and take your time to do that. Oh my gosh. Oh, deep breaths, everyone. I mean, we still got all the confetti here and the memories that will stay with us for a very long time, but it's about that time. It is about that time. T, you want to go first?
Dota's a beautiful game, connects the world, and yeah, thank you everyone for doing it. Without the fans, we wouldn't have all this, so yeah, good job, thank you.
Dota is a part of me, Dota is part of my life for a good 20 years now, and I just want to say thank you to each one of you who attended. Thank you, Seattle. Thank you for each and every player, each and every person who managed to, stay up to 2, 3 a.m. to do the work, every single person behind the scenes to make this possible, because it's the most beautiful event, especially this one we've ever had.
Yeah.
And nothing can match the prestige of the International. We've seen it today. It was special watching the audience, special seeing everybody unite, coming from all over is special. And yeah, Dota is a magical game. I'm forever grateful to be part of this community. I'm grateful for the game, for introducing me to all of my new friends, and meeting everyone in the audience has been incredible. People have been so kind and so passionate, and what an experience.
What an experience indeed. It's TI vibes, and we say that a lot. I mean, especially backstage, because TI vibes there is something special, because it's in the air. It's the people you see. Everybody is happy and passionate. T-Gov, there's just nothing like it.
Yeah, nothing can replace it. And it's simple as that, and that's the joy of TI. And I look forward to the next TI, and the next one, and the next one, and the next players that come in and try and take the Aegis away from Team Spirit. Like, yeah, it's in a class of its own.
It's in a class of its own, and I just want to give a massive shout out to everyone that's tuning in from around the world. I know, I mean, it's very special to be in Seattle. I mean, I also think back in Seattle, whew, that in itself is amazing. But so many people tuning in from around the world, and as Lacoste said, time zones. Who cares? Everybody tuning in at awkward times just to make sure that they can witness the greatest Dota to have ever been graced. Lacoste, what were your favorite moments of this international?
Hard to choose. You put me on the spot.
I am.
I don't know. It feels like, we just had so many things that made this tournament special. Like there's like the shift in meta, where we see like shifting each day pretty much, especially during the main event. It's what makes this game so beautiful. You'll think you know what it is, then someone shows you like a couple of hours later that you don't know what you're actually playing. Even these like top tier teams, they lose in 20 minutes because the other team is just better. Like they prepare, they don't sleep, and they show you how it's done.
Yeah, it's also just really fun to watch the players come out on stage and really feel the energy, and you can see them just basking in their, own enthusiasm and their love for the game. And you see them clapping and smiling, and they feel like they're on top of the world there, and you can see that, and that is a special thing to see. But I guess my favorite moment would have to be VP versus Butboom, that really long 75-minute game where Kira touched TPs to the racks and dies there, and whew, that was one of the good ones.
A wild one for sure.
The fall of Western European Dota. Finally, we get a bit of China love. We get a bit of, what else we got? We got Eastern Europe, and then also this Orc guy the entire time. He's been pretty good. There we go.
Very much. A lot of dedication coming out from...
There we go.
I will tell you mine as well, because I was walking around before the road to the international playoffs, walking around, and I took the wrong turn. We went for coffee.
We did?
You and me, T, we went for coffee, and I told you that I knew the way. I did not know the way. We went exactly the wrong way. But that did mean we were right in front of Benaroya Hall when we found out that we were in the wrong place. And Benaroya Hall, the place of TI2 and TI3, a lot of special memories. So for me, that was very special. And then I must, if you're talking about Dota, the best Dota 2, I mean, the finals were fantastic, but I must highlight Team Spirit versus LGD Game 1 yesterday, upper bracket finals. That was intense, insane. I loved every second of that, and that was I think my favorite moment. I got to watch the last minutes also in the arena because we thought it was over, obviously, 20 minutes ago. So that was very special. And seeing Team Spirit win here again, it's just there are so many wholesome moments that this team has, and they have captured all of them as well. They capture everything. We saw already the moment that they won. We saw Miposhka, Effie standing with a camera in his hand. They vlog everything.
I mean, actually, if you go on their YouTube channel, you could probably learn every detail that you wanted to about any of the players. But I do love that about them, that they're such an immersive team. Like, if you're a fan of theirs, there's so much content to consume. You can get familiar with all of them. So I do think that's why they have one of the strongest fan bases in Dota, outside of just playing solo.
Yeah. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I know that there's still a lot of people here waiting for late game. Kudos to you. There's a lot of people waiting in the crowd still already for the actual late game to watch it live. There's a lot of people still watching here because they're waiting for late game to watch it from their homes or from the comfort of pub stomps. But we're just getting ready with late game. We want to make sure that the moment we tune out, you're entertained with late game. So we're holding the fort down here as, well, this entire tournament. We talk about regions a little bit there, T-Gov. I feel like we have to continue talking a little bit more, mostly in regards to the Chinese region, because I felt like compared to last year they came top fourth with Aster, and that was the only team that really did incredibly well. We had LGD still doing okay as well, but of course that was a different LGD. I felt like this was a resurgence of the region.
No, for sure. And I think it was refreshing throughout the entire year at the majors and stuff. We had this like kind of just Western European dominance the entire time. It's why I was happy, that they maybe didn't do so well this time around, because I think once TI sets a statement to what region to look at, then the Western European fans and the kind of Western audience need to look elsewhere to absorb their Dota content. So I think for China specifically, LGD and then the old guard of Azure Ray being able to show up at TI, both get top 4, was incredible just for international Dota.
Yeah. And also they produced one of my favorite memes that Dota has ever seen. Lanham talking about his team, that everything is fine against Gaming Gladiators, and suddenly like this is fine, and everything's burning in the back. There's like 4 people dying. It's just like it's gonna be one of those things. I was watching that yesterday, and I was spitting water out of my mouth through my nose as well. But we gotta give credit to them because they played some amazing Dota, reaching top 4 without even trying too hard. We talked about the teams that have practiced throughout the year. They formed, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna show up at TI and do well, and they reached top 4. The old guard plus some of the new generation of the players, they did extremely well.
Yeah, but on the topic of that, imagine being Lanham in that moment. I mean, like you're doing an interview and everyone's cheering so loudly, so you're thinking to yourself, wow,
we're
really
winning, yeah.
And the cheering gets really loud, and he goes, oh, I'm on a roll here with my answers. He walks down back to the green room, he's looking at the screen and just goes,
4-0.
What?
We did hear Barely Chalice said on his social media that they were all laughing at it. They were all running away from the fight, and then someone goes, "Kill that bear." He turns around. Oh, there's going to be a lot of memories from this year's international. And of course, that one is a great one. But the biggest memory will be that we have, for the second time in Dota 2 history, a 2-time champion. 4 new players are getting that award. And Laurel, of course, now also a TI champion. And Team Spirit, with their championship, a clean sweep, 3-0. There's only 2 other times that happened in the history of Dota 2. So Team Spirit will go down in history as one of the most dominant teams of all time. We'll see if they can repeat it next year. I know that the hunger for these players, it just doesn't seem to cease at all. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready for a late game. So without further ado, we've loved every second of it, and we've hoped that we've been able to convey those feelings to you at home, to you at the arena. We've loved it, and we hope to be back here in Seattle some other time to experience the same thing, because it's something special, and I can't even put it into words. But I'm gonna have to. So thank you so much from everybody in front of the camera, everybody behind the camera. I know everybody cares a whole lot. And it is amazing to feel the love from everyone in the arena and online. So thank you so much for that on behalf of everyone involved. And ladies and gentlemen, your TI Champions of 2023, Team Spirit, congratulations. And we'll see you for the next one.
All eyes on the prize.
Shiro taken out, short of the money on buyback. You also to fall. They don't have the buyback. Zero Engineers, Gaming Gladiators, taking them down one by one. Still over the wall, nothing to say. He's also out. We have no money. The Tier 4's exposed. They're looking at GG. It's over. GG is gone. Gaming Gladiators take this one 2-0. We'll be moving on to the grand finals.
What a display of dominance this last pick Queen of Pain.
There are many Earths, but only one Earthshaker.
Team Spirit, they are absolutely outplaying Gaming Gladiators right now on the map. They just know all of these heroes are getting picked apart. There just seems to be no response whatsoever from these Gladiators. BKB turns around. Oh man, that damage is just building up so quickly. Quinn's got it in instant, so is the Bear. Duraccio battling up against Laurel, but the big bad boss of the fight is definitely Toro. And once he turns his eye on a hero, disappears. Game over for this one. The Team Spirit making absolutely no qualms about shutting Gaming Gladiators out in their own style. 33 minutes and it's done. Gaming Gladiators, they are all going to fall. They're going to throw their damage around. The Chief's actually getting popped as Goliath's got a little bit low, but into the foul, Laurel goes. A rampage, maybe a double. No, Tofu's going to deny him that. They're going to call the GG.
Right now, it is all gaming on the momentum chart. A full vessel was completed very fast here from Tofu.
Toro's in big time trouble to give him the Shallow Grave.
Oh, what a shard.
BKB, but a beautiful shard blocking out some of these heroes. It's not enough. Toro still falls, and now with the toss up in the air, Laurel will come down to a hard reality. Crash down, he does have the BKB, and look at that heal. That Aghanim Scepter with so many units around him. It's so much heal. He is not going to die so easily. Gaming Gladiators thought they had an easy target. Oh my God. The bit he'll bring down Duraccio before he finally falls. 3 dead on the side of Gaming Gladiators, and Team Spirit have changed this game. The narrative was supposed to be Gaming Gladiators controlling and seeing if they could end it, but Team Spirit have turned this all back around. This explosion, and now it's been blown back down. Oh no! It is too much for Gaming Gladiators to be able to handle. They are not going to be able to get through this. They have to pray to get out, but the Cathedral is merciless. It is Team Spirit who are unstoppable.